All right, welcome back, everybody. Of course, we are about to dive right into the finals of Mox Masters August here with the Playing with Power team. Before we do, kind of want to set the stage for you. Of course, this is the last match. The winner, of course, will leave with 40 points and the maximum money payout, which I don't have in front of me right now. But that's okay. We watched three of our finalists here just a second ago, which included a Najila, a Kinnan, and a Corvold deck. Going to go and update you that the final deck in the top four is another copy of Najila. So, we've harped on it a lot, TK. We've harped on a lot about these cheap creatures that come in. I personally, in my spaces, have talked a lot about my opinions of Najila, and I have a very high opinion of the deck. And to see it two copies here in the finals pod makes my heart really, really happy. And I cannot wait to see how this pod plays out.
Absolutely. We've heard a lot of Najila slander as people who do like Najila. It's like, oh, no, it doesn't convert. It's not in the final. It hasn't won anything. Well, here we are, 50% chance.
50% of the pod, 50% to win. I don't know. It's just statistics. And, we've seen a lot of that recently in general. As more tournaments happen, there's a lot more of the smack talk, if you will, about decks and their ability to convert or not or what have you. And I really appreciate that. It's one of my favorite things about Magic and, the atmosphere it creates. So I'm excited to see Najila get the job done. They're also going, I believe, first and second in this pod. So, if there's ever a chance, come on, Najila, you can pull through. But of course, we saw Wounded Satellite get it done in the top 16 from third seat, where they are once again, and Unrivaled, unfortunately, going to be going fourth with their take on Corvold, which we saw a very, very impressive instant speed kill with just a moment ago as well. So, counting players in third and fourth out. And I hate, in the booth to have some clear favorites, but I hate to. I have clear favorites. I want a Najila deck to win this. I really want to see it take one down.
I think you and I are both in the same seat, though. With Wounded being in third seat again, it'd be interesting to see if they can leverage the same board state as before. Because man, that one was also very crazy. But yeah, I think we're in for a really good game here. I'm excited.
Yeah, and one that could certainly get grindy as well. I mean, I think both the Geo decks are fairly well set up to just kind of do the Geo plan, start attacking. Kinnan is certainly, I think, interested in slowing this pod down. And with the caliber of hand we saw in top 16, certainly something that could be possible in this configuration of a pod as well. But, I think the caliber of deck and their ability to operate underneath some of your stack species, of course, talking about things like Rhystic Study or whatever, even some of your creatures like Linalundra, gets a lot easier when you have just Najila Derevi as the combo kill and, as kind of the face of Najila and its slower kills, its grinding plan that it can reach for with all of its tutors. There's a lot more options. And I think that the Kinnan plan, even with strong hands, does get a little bit weaker in these kinds of pods that feature other decks that kind of operate on a similar axis.
Absolutely. Yeah. Kinnan works best, especially when it's the only one kind of doing its plan. And so to have two decks that are above it, doing very similar, just good pile stuff, it can be a little tricky. But I think everybody's getting ready here.
Yeah, it looks like we're kicking things off here. Devrick, no pregame actions. Devrick gonna go ahead and take a draw. Play a fetch land. Can't get a great look because of the glare. My guess is Polluted Delta here. Either way, whatever. A fetch land, gonna go ahead and sacrifice.
Yep.
Cast a Soul Ring is going to happen, assuming the fetch happens. I can't imagine we're going to stop the fetch unless someone has a really spicy sequence to make a opposition agent happen here. And so we're going to shortcut a little bit as far as what land we're grabbing and deploy a Lotus Petal as well. So Soul Ring, Lotus Petal, turn on Najila if we want it.
Very strong.
He sure does.
Yeah, go for it.
Blossom. Wow.
Yeah, we've got a lot of Corvold fans in the chat.
That's okay. You know what? Corvold's got a lot of fans. I understand. It's not as boogeyman as Najila is on average, but I, as someone that has played a lot of Magic the Gathering with and against one Ashani, I've had my fill of Corvold. I'm good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen it. I know what it does. I've seen it just body people over and over again. The deck's good. I get it. I want to see some more love for Najila. So fine. That's fine. You know what? I'll be against the chat. I'm not worried about it.
100%.
As our second Najila player is being, I'm going to go ahead and fetch with the Verdant Catacombs, grab some land that produces black mana, and going to cast an Imperial Seal.
Yeah.
Love the shortcutting here. Get things moving.
Absolutely. One's got to be, I would assume it's going to be something like a Jewel Lotus or something. here
Angel
trying to.
Lotus, a fine option. I mean, once again, a part of the power of Najeela is the ability to pivot between plans and tutors. It could be Underworld Breach and LED's just waiting in the hand. It
That's
could
true.
be, either Dark Ritual or Ad Nauseum. That's what's up. Could just be a quick, Derevi kill. Who knows? It's hard to tell exactly what this Imperial Seal means because it's very, very context dependent based on what's in Duke's decor, whatever. The Najeela player's hand. The true Najeela player. I can't say the Najeela player anymore. Anyway, Underground sees the fetch. We have a Misty Rainforest set of fetch from the Kinnan player, which I can say as there's only one. And Elvish Mystic is going to be deployed. A little bit weaker, I'd say, than Soul Ring from Deverick, our cookout finalist at the playmatch, to be believed.
That's very true. But, stranger things have happened. Maybe they can pick it up. All it takes is a guy's cradle and some creatures, and you're on your way.
Snowball it out.
Yeah.
Command Tower is going to be how Unrivaled starts us off. And just a passing the turn in step. Oh no, we're on upkeep. Upkeep and light. I was like, I don't think we can instep this. Didn't have the mana. No, this is upkeep. Beautiful deck here from Deverick as well. Enlightened Tutor going to be fired off, and with Soul Ring already in play, what could this represent?
Enlightened Tutor for an artifact.
I mean, it could be like a Mox Opal or something. I guess Mox Diamond's probably better.
Yeah.
Also, Rhystic Study. So we just have a blue source dialed up, and we are going to be attempting a Rhystic Study. Turn one Geo, turn to Rhystic Study is a hell of a hand going first.
That's really good. Yeah. Especially in first seat. Everybody else has to play behind you. Oh, man. Yeah, Deverick is no stranger to Najeela, having went second with it at the cookout not too long ago. So, yeah, definitely knows what he's doing here.
Yeah, very quick. We noticed he didn't even shuffle. Like, I'm going back in. Wooded Foothills, it looks like going to go ahead and get cracked to find something that produces blue so that we can cast a Rhystic Study. And like I said, this resolves that I'd say Deverick is in a commanding position here as early as turn 2 on this game. Just two very impactful plays off of the back of the turn 1 Soul Ring.
Absolutely. And it definitely helps at the fact that the rest of the seats are still developing, it seems like here. Nobody else really having anything impactful. So yeah, that Rhystic Study is definitely going to get some mileage.
Yeah, it looks like it resolved too. And here comes a warrior, an Najeela attack and a warrior. All things coming up Deverick as far as we can see. Not a lot of cards left, but Rhystic Study very, very possibly could be fixing that soon.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hooey. Let's see here.
I think the players are now, based on the conversation, it sounds like the players are now reading Najeela and realizing that they trigger each other and stuff. So that's that's something that could happen this game if we decide to go that direction.
Yeah, could see a lot of warriors here. I'd like it. That'd be funny.
I mean, I'm here for whatever little Najeela pack. Like, I'll make some warriors if you make warriors, but I think that's very much to Decora's disadvantage. As Mana Crypt very quickly played. Have to imagine that's the card we tutored for. And here is a Rhystic Study of the cores as well.
Oh, wow.
Strap in. Here's another card coming for Deverick.
The Najeelas are definitely just doing the Spider-Man meme right now.
Yeah. Wow, I liked your turn so much. Why don't we do some of that myself?
Yeah.
Looks like that one's going to resolve as well. And now, I mean, honestly, I would say these Rhystics are actually kind of weak against the Kinnan deck. Both very good at making a lot of mana, very good at activating. I mean, that's why Kinnan is where it is now. It plays very well underneath rule laws, underneath Rhystics, that kind of thing. Honestly, it feels like it hurts Unrivaled the most, but of course, Unrivaled could have something like a Veil of Summer or even Dozen, the green kind of Grand Abolisher, but if you pass the turn with it, you just lose. Card that's that can get through it, but I mean, already. Yeah. These Rhystic Studies actually seem like they're going to be at their best against the opposing Najeela players.
Yeah, that's my thought here. Yeah, with Kinnan, you're probably not going to get as much mileage, but say a Corvold that's playing a ton of mana rocks and artifacts, as well as the other Najeelas who are probably going to leverage each other out, it'll get some mileage for sure. So we're seeming
I think we're looking at Wounded Satellite, I think we're considering a land drop and whether or not we're going to play. Mana Confluence is going to be the land. Going to pay for one of the Rhystics. Yeah, looks like we're going to pay for one of the Rhystic Studies by casting Kinnan.
Yep.
Paid for Deverick's Rhystic, so yep. Decora's going to have a card coming off of Rhystic Study.
Sounds good. Definitely seems like Devrick is in the more commanding position at the moment.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like this sequence a lot. You actually you when you have two Ristic studies, you kind of want them to duel and use all their interaction on each other. Like obviously that feeds each other and that kind of stuff, but eventually you're gonna run out of free interaction and stuff like that. And Gila doesn't play a ton of it, not like the Timid decks or whatever. Some of the more controlling decks that we've seen does play a lot of the free interaction, but will run out eventually. And so you
Yeah.
really it actually can be to your benefit when there's multiple out to only feed one and try to get a little bit of a fight going from the player that's behind with their card advantage engine so that you don't have to do the fighting yourself.
Absolutely. And that's especially advantageous for Kennen here because the third seat and the Najilas are back to back. So if any interaction is going to come through, it'll have to be through them. And that's really cool to see here. I think that's a smart play for sure.
Absolutely. And here is Unrivaled. Play the Bloodstained Buyer's land for turn. Again, only 2 lands in play at the moment. Gonna to get something going here. Hard to do underneath a pile of Ristics, but we've seen how potent Dockside Extortion is in this deck, in particular, more than most. And with Dockside count already looking to be, what, 4? It's climbing fast. I mean, we're talking about a turn 2 Dockside already making 4 mana, quite a bit of mana generation, and likely to continue, assuming players continue to draw, but eventually it's just going to be hard to resolve Dockside. So little bit of talking happening here. Unrivaled really needs to get some amount of mana developed, a board state put together, or else these Najilas are going to run him over.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially that's always been the hardest part for me playing the Sands Blue decks in tournament play. You see a lot of interaction coming your way and not being able to dish it back out. You just kind of have to be commanding in that position. And we see a Rite of Flame here though, so definitely going for
something.
Yeah,
Badlands the fetch. Yeah,
yeah.
Rite of Flame is not a card that says, I'm looking to do something tame and pass the turn. I mean, maybe it's just a mana rock or something, but I'm not optimistic because here's 4 mana reached for. It is going to be Wishclaw Talisman paying for both.
Okay.
Are we paying for? It looks like there's no mana floating. Oh no, there's 1 mana floating. So we paid for neither.
Okay, yeah, float the mana, I guess. Definitely have a plan
for
it.
Just activate right now. Give it probably to Wounded Satellite, I have to imagine. Yeah. So we're just tutoring and passing, giving the Wishclaw to Wounded Satellite. I love this play. That's people really talk about, obviously it's a death sentence, just giving a Wishclaw to somebody else. But this says, like, this kind of play says that, well, now, Kennen, I mean, we can just tutor Basalt Monolith, right? Like, we know that. That's something that can happen. So if you Najila players with your Ristic studies don't have an answer, you can't just win the game on the spot and you get stopped. You may very well just be dead. I love this play a lot from Unrivaled.
That's really good. Yeah, that's a really good point. Oh my God. Yeah, you're essentially putting the spotlight on another player, hoping that the attention goes to them and you just sweep under the rug. Because like you said, all it takes is a Dockside here and you can really start to get stuff going here for Corbold. Yeah, very interesting here.
Yeah, like if I'm gonna feed you cards, you're gonna have to be answering stuff because I ain't. I'm in Jund. I'm the furthest behind. I'm gonna feed you cards. You both have Ristic studies. One of you needs to find something. Here you go. Here's a Wishclaw that could easily win you the game. Pass turn.
Yeah. Love that game plan. Just make them fight each other. Just slug it out. I like it, especially from seat 4. Yeah. We were definitely worried about Corbold's position there, but I think that's a really smart play.
Here we go over to Devrick's turn again. Worldly Tutor on upkeep. There's all the tutors for Devrick. Wow. And I mean, this could find Derevi or like Grim Hireling or whatever. And if it does, are we just done?
Yeah, kind of rough. I think they would still need some sort of mana sources here, but I mean, that's not going to be hard. Everybody else is drawing you cards.
Yeah, well, let's see. Does Devrick even play? Let's start there. Does Devrick play Grim Hireling? I mean, you can grab Derevi, obviously. Tap down the Kennen, then there's no blockers at all. But then I think we might be a little bit of mana short because Soul Ring doesn't really do a good job of actually activating Najeela.
Yeah. So it seems like something else he is, but he's got the time for sure. He's light years ahead of everybody else.
Light years ahead of everybody else. And it is going to be Grim Hireling. Okay. So yeah, there's Grim Hireling. That seems like the best one to play here because, like I said, the Hunter actually makes it a little awkward. And of course, Soul Ring, you want to be able to use that mana, and Grim Hireling is the easiest one to cast.
Yeah,
now,
definitely.
Now, if we play Grim Hireling, we get to make 4 attackers. We get to make 4 treasures, but then, yeah, like you said, we're mana short of activating and really being able to, like, win. So, but, like, even something like a Spirit Guide actually might threaten to kill here if this Grim Hireling just resolves.
That's very true. Yeah. Always something to consider. What
Even if it's not lethal on board, it could just be out of hand and in a way that can be very hard to stop.
There you go.
Mana Confluence to
Command,
land
yeah,
return.
Mana Confluence.
Take a point. Grim Hireling. There's Grim Hireling. That'll trigger Rhystic Study.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, not a lot that gets this. Once again, creature's hard to counter. So it has to be like Force of Will, Pact of Negation, which can't be paid for. Mindbreak Trap doesn't even work. Not a lot of options for countering this. Not a lot of mana up from players to stop this from connecting. I mean, the game could be over here. It's not from what we see, but it could be.
Yeah, yeah. It's always about, what's in hands as well. And, there's no short, like we said, Devrick is light years ahead of everybody else. So let's say he just
some of the best openings you can present with Najeela.
Yeah. Let's see, he swings in here, makes mana. Even if it's not a win, you're still in a really great position. You're gonna make, really good mana here. Swinging, I'm assuming at Unrivaled and
yeah, like, so Unrivaled and Decor have no blockers, right?
Yeah.
So that's 4 treasures face up.
Yeah.
You could swing. Oh yeah, no, it's actually just lethal, right? Because you Najeela at Unrivaled, 1 warrior at Decor, 2 warriors at Wounded, and that all 3 gets through. That's another activation. 1 warrior dies.
Yeah.
And then you still have 3 left over. That means you make 6 and you just get through and can't even block again or dies.
You just keep going.
Yeah, this is actually face up. I thought you needed a Spirit Guide. I actually think this is just lethal. This has to be stopped.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And now I think we're in the territory of just feeding Rhystic Study to try to find Force of Will off of Decor. But now it feeds both Rhystic Studies is the problem.
Yeah. It's a tricky position to be in. You have to feed the Rhystic, but also be able to pay. So let's see, there's a Noxious Revival here.
Noxious is going to target Unrivaled's own Bloodstained Mire. Can't pay for either of the Rhystics. Active, non-active. So Decor is going to draw first. If you have interaction, we're going to want to use it with the other Rhystic on the stack.
Freedom Waffle is in the chat saying that it's Duke Niner.
Duke Niner. Okay. Geez. I've gotten so many different takes on how to say this. The downside of saying having 2 Najeela players, I can't just say the Najeela player. Whatever, it's okay. There are. It comes with downsides using people's screen names instead of their real names, which I would also probably butcher. So I can't, whatever. Excuses. Either way, this Grim Hireling, I mean, there's a lot of hand motioning. This looks like it's resolving.
Oh no, yeah. Oh, I think this might be game.
I think this is game. Yeah, Najeela at Unrivaled, or I mean, whatever. Najeela at Unrivaled, a warrior at Duke Niner, and then 2 warriors at Wounded. That'll be lethal. Maybe we're stopping in combat. Anybody have like a Deadly Relic or something?
Yeah,
Slaughter Pact?
Please, anything. If not, yeah. If there was ever a textbook way to play Najeela, Devrick is showing it right here, right now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're going to have 1 treasure left over, and then we get to go again. And yeah, this is just lethal. We were talking about for the show about how we're talking about Grim Hireling specifically, and I was like, yeah, I've never won with it, but it fixes my mana and stuff like that. Here, it was the perfect card to win the game.
You guys have no idea. Yeah, we were just talking about it. We were like, oh yeah, we cut it from Marlis, blah blah blah, Druid's Repository, blah 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 blah, and here it is.
Force no blue card for Duke Niner? Oh, 2 cards. That was the blue card. We had Force no blue card. Gotta respect those blue card counts. You're building your decks, and that is gonna do it. Devrick, take it down with Najeela. First seed, an impressive sequence, and the Cookout finalist is gonna take it down here at Mox Masters August. An impressive string of events here for Devrick, picking up Najeela and obviously crushing. I don't know how long they've been on the deck, but these last two events for them have been extremely impressive. And I, as I mentioned, am extremely excited to see Najeela take a tournament down. I'm extremely excited to see it win. Extremely excited to see Grim Hireling get the job done too. If you ever needed some convincing on that card, what a great data point to see. And like I said, some great play and a great hand from Devrick.
Absolutely. Yeah. We were just talking here about how we were fans of Najila. And like I said, impressive work here. Like I said, if there's a textbook way to play Najila, that's it right
Yeah, just have
there.
that hand every game. I would snap off that hand every game. Come on. Come on. Turn on the Gila, turn to heuristic study. Talk to me. 2 tutors in the chamber or whatever. Yeah, the fool. Huh? Not as, I mean, that's part of why Najila is as strong as it is, right? You're talking about all these cards that are across multiple different colors. We saw, Najila's red. We call Enlightened Tutor's white. Heuristic Studies blue. Worldly Tutor is green. Grim Hireling's black. Like, when you're playing these 5-color good stuff piles, you get access to all your cards are good. Now, unfortunately, sometimes the mana falls a little short. And like we saw, Derevi wasn't even possible there. But Grim Hireling showing that, even just having that black pit is enough to make it into your deck despite being a worse option than something like Derevi as far as just raw amount of mana. And like I said, look right there. I've been a Grim Hireling naysayer in the past, and that was a really convincing argument if there ever was one. Like I said, impressive performance.
Absolutely about to start looking at my Najila list and being like, okay, well, hold on, let me put this card right back. Excuse me. Pardon me. I apologize.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, please get back in the deck. I'm very, very sorry. Well, either way, that is going to conclude Mox Masters August. There are only 2 more Mox Masters events before the Playing with Power Invitational. If you're looking to qualify like this top 4 here that you saw today has, then you only get 2 more chances at it, except at the Invitational itself, where there will be a last chance qualifier, but we are running out of opportunities to earn points and make your way to that Playing with Power Invitational, where you will certainly see some, if not all, of the players that you watched here in the finals today competing for their share of $10,000. Please, check out our events. Make sure to support Playing with Power either via Patreon or here on Twitch. We appreciate you all for sticking around to watch some awesome cEDH. And yeah, we will see you guys for the next show in September. Thank you for joining us.